Goniophlebium was a possible identity of this sampled plant species based on Google Lens. The genus Goniophlebium from the family Polypodiaceae has the following characteristics which tallied with the plant I had sampled. Plant medium to large with rhizome medium to long creeping and having black fibrous strands. The rhizome scaled entirely or primarily clathrate with margins dentate, apex acuminate to filiform, and often with superficial hairs. Fronds are monomorphic, stipitate, pinnate to pinnatified, and pinnate jointed. Laminar veins are netted, areoles angular, and in one to several rows. The costal areole is large with one included veinlet pointing outwards, and also present is a marginal row of excurrent veins. The lamina also has glandular hairs and hydathodes. Sori are naked, round, and in 1 to 3 rows between pinnae midrib and margin, scaly paraphyses are present. The genus Goniophlebium is often confused with Polypodium. One differentiating characteristic is that Goniophlebium has at least the lower pinnae articulated or jointed to the rachis, whereas in Polypodium, the pinnae are continuous with the rachis. Other characteristics generally found in Goniophlebium, but not Polypodium, are rhizome scales which are clathrate, rhizomes with sclerenchyma strands, and venation with at most one excurrent included vein in each areole. The Goniophlebium species found in Malaysia are Goniophlebium percussum, Goniophlebium persicifolium, Goniophlebium cortalsi, Goniophlebium mahibitans, Goniophlebium ragiensi, Goniophlebium subauriculatum, Goniophlebium pseudoconatum, and Goniophlebium prani. Based on Rudder-Linder, Goniophlebium percussum, Goniophlebium persicifolium, Goniophlebium cortalsi, Goniophlebium mahibitans, and Goniophlebium ragiensi are similar, having veins that anastomose into a series of regular primary areole from costa towards margin. Goniophlebium subauriculatum, Goniophlebium pseudoconatum, and Goniophlebium prani, which Ritter-Linder grouped together, have veins that anastomose into one or rarely two series of regular primary areole. So based on species present in Malaysia and the venation pattern, the sampled species is probably one of Goniophlebium percussum, Goniophlebium persicifolium, Goniophlebium cortalsi, Goniophlebium mahibitans, or Goniophlebium ragiensi. However, for further supporting evidence to eliminate members of the subauriculatum group as the species identity, their other characteristics were also compared to the sample species. Goniophlebium subauriculatum differs from the sample by its white rhizome from a chalky wax layer, pinnae adnate in upper part of frond, rhizome scales basal auricles pointed, and rhizome scales having glands situated all along the margins. Goniophlebium pseudoconatum differs from the sample by its white rhizome, rhizome scales having a relatively wide acumen, superficial hairs absent, glands situated all along margin, pinnae adnate in upper part of frond, base truncate, caudate or auricled, apex narrowly acute, and apical segment not sharply distinct. Goniophlebium prani, the other member of the subauriculatum group present in Malaysia, also differed from the sample in more than the venation. Goniophlebium prani has sorry superficial, pinnae broadly adnate, basal segments deflexed, and terminal segment co-attenuate, that is, combined. The sample was more akin to the percussum group, identified by venation with multi-serial primary areole. All lateral segments articulate to the rachis, and generally terminal segment petiolate as well as conforms to the lateral segments. But which one of the percussum group was the sample's identity? Goniophlebium cortalsi differed from the sample in several traits, that is, rhizome scales superficial hairs absent or in a turf near the point of attachment, laminar acucular hairs absent, sorry superficial, and up to triserial on either side of the costa. Goniophlebium mahibitans of the percussum group was discounted as the identity of the sample due to its single row of areoles and sometimes a second irregular row of areoles without veinlets, rhizome scales margin without glands, laminar acucular hairs absent, front lateral segments sessile, base truncate, margin serrate, and terminal segment half to almost as long as the longest pinnae. Goniophlebium rajensis differed from the sample by philopodia 2 to 7 cm apart, front terminal segments equal or slightly shorter than the longest lateral segment, laminar acucular hairs absent, and slightly sunken. Goniophlebium percussifolium is amongst the Goniophlebium species that most resembles the sample but differs by lacking needle-shaped hairs on the blades, having sori only slightly sunken, wider than 1.5 mm, and lacking the ring of dark scales, as well as having rhizome scales which have many glands. So the species sampled is most probably Goniophlebium percussum, which has the following characteristics: epiphytic or terrestrial, rhizome terrate, and green when fresh, with philopodia 1.5 to 2.5 cm apart, the rhizome in cross-section showing many sclerenchyma strands, rhizome scales deltoid, dentate, equally clathurate throughout, superficial hairs present over the entire acumen, apex acuminate to filiform, basal auricles rounded, base margin sparsely set with glands. Fronts 38 to 200 by 18 to 45 cm, borders at the base, herbaceous and pinnate. Lateral segments shortly petiolate, 12.5 to 20.5 by 2 to 3 cm, apex acuminate, base shortly angustate, margin entire to crenate, terminal segment conforms to lateral segments, slightly longer than the longest lateral segment. Venation netted with primary areole 3 to 4 serial, each areole with a marginal free vein, empty anastomosis frequent. Hydathodes present on lamina in addition to the laminar hairs which may be acular, glandular or acular and glandular. Sori, uniserial, deeply sunken, costal, round 0.8 to 1.0 mm in diameter with a ring of dark paraphysis. Paraphysis scaly and clathurate, spores yellow and tristate. Listed are a few references to learn more about the Goniophlebium species. Videos on other plant species are available on this channel and more are upcoming, so do subscribe to be notified when a video is uploaded and also to support the channel. Thank you.